Hello and welcome to Blazing Gamer, and this is my Python plus Node series. In this series we'll be creating this. So this isn't something that's great to look at, it's not a great front end. The real thing that we'll be creating is an interface between a Node server and Python script. So if I just start this, you will see what's currently happening here is I'm generating two random numbers on the front end, which are then being sent through WebSockets to Nest.js backend, and from there they are fed into a Python script, which is this one, and where the multiplication of those two numbers is computed and returned to the Nest.js backend, which again through WebSockets sends it to the front end. So the main idea behind this is that the data processing part is happening in Python and the serving is happening in Node. So this architecture can have some there can be many applications of this architecture. One of those would be deploying ML models. So you can have a Nest server which continuously feeds the input data to the Python script, where the ML model processes that data and continuously outputs the results. That is one way, and by doing it this way you have a good separation of concerns between Python and Node, since Node will now only be responsible for the server and Python will solely be responsible for the data processing pipeline. So to create this we'll be using NX Workspace. So I'll just stop this and I'll just open a new terminal window. Dash, and I'll just copy the NX command to create the workspace. So this command you can get it on the NX docs website in the getting started section. I'll just place the link down below, and the command is this. So instead of my workspace you can give the workspace any name you want, and I'll call it pnode. Now this will take some time depending on whether your npm has pre-cached these modules, or if you have used NX before, and still also it sometimes takes some time, but there are a few configuration steps that come during the setup that I need to show. So we'll just wait for those steps to come. So we'll be creating an empty workspace. We'll be adding capabilities later on, and we'll be using the Angular CLI. Now NX CLI is something that NX is developing to make the Angular CLI redundant while using with NX, because earlier you need to have Angular CLI globally installed if you wanted to use NX, even if you don't want to use Angular and use React. So that was one thing like people didn't like, but the NX CLI I tried to use it and it had some bugs, so I will still recommend just have the Angular CLI globally installed and use the Angular CLI. Also for this project the front end will be developed in Angular, so it won't matter much that that way you will need the Angular CLI. So the workspace is created now, just the npm packages are being copied in to the node modules folder, and once everything's done you can just open it up in your favorite code editor, and till that happens I'll just copy the next command, which is the capabilities installation command. So we'll be adding capabilities for Nest and Angular, so I'll just copy the Angular command, and it still hasn't finished up. Yeah, so I'll just show you the commands. So we have these two commands, npm install an Arvel Angular, so this will add the Angular capabilities and this command will add the Nest capabilities. Once these both commands are run, I'll just pause it till then. So the capabilities have been added and now we need to create the applications. So to create the applications, again there are commands, but there's a better way to do it. So if you are using VS Code, then there is an extension for NX workspaces called the Angular console, in which you can do generation, building, deploying and everything. So basically everything that is possible through the Angular CLI powered up by NX. This is just a GUI to use those commands. So first thing is we'll be creating a Nest application, and we just need to give it a name, so I'll just call it backend. And in the optional fields you can just leave everything to default, and there is no need to set up any proxy configuration. That is something we'll do through the front-end project. So we'll just hit generate. As you can see, the NX console also does a try run for you for the configuration that you have selected, and it updates in pretty much real time, so you can see what all will happen with the selected configuration. So we have the Nest application created. We'll just do some installs, and till then we can do the creation of the Angular application. So you can see we have the backend created and the default folders and the controllers that Nest provides, and we'll just generate the Angular application till then. So in schematics we need novel Angular application. Now make sure to select the novel ones. The Nest.js schematics are a bit different, so we'll do the novel Angular application. So this we'll call this front end, and in the optional fields the backend project we can specify the name, that is backend. So this will just set up a proxy, so that will allow us to easily connect to our backend. So this is something like you won't need to do any cross origin accesses or something if you do it this way. So we'll generate the Angular project also now. Till that happens, there is some till then we'll just go over the project structure what NX has generated for us. So we have this apps folder in which we have all our applications, so the backend, the front end, and the end-to-end tester for the front end. In the libs folder we can create TypeScript or JavaScript libraries which can be reused throughout our applications, but we won't be doing anything with libraries since that won't be needed. In the tools folders are all your schematics, which or you can create your own schematics that will go here, which will help in generation. So if you need to write a schematic to generate some kind of component that is specialized to your application, so you can do it here. Other than that, we have a jest configuration to run our unit tests. So jest is already set up to work with monorepos, so you can easily run jest tests on a single project. And we have the NX configuration in which all our projects will go, and basically is used by Angular CLI and the basic Angular.json. So everything is, in the apps folder is considered as an Angular project, so the CLI will be able to use it. And the package.json, so we have many scripts that have been added by NX. So the main majority of here would be the affected scripts, which is a good way to speed up your development. And similarly we have dependencies for Nest.js and Angular added. So now both the applications are created. The first thing we're gonna do is in the next episode we'll do some restructuring, and we will try to complete the Angular front-end side because that's pretty small. So if you like the series, please do leave a like and subscribe to be updated, and if you have any suggestions, do leave a comment down below. Thank you.